Hello and welcome, everybody. It is Thursday night, so once again, it is time for the Tank Show, where we spend some time acquiring new knowledge, hopefully. Hang out with you awesome fishy folks, take any questions or comments you have live on the air. I do have, as always, my buddy, pal, and co-host, Chattanooga Ed. Be sure to check him out next on Crafted. We'll talk a little bit more about what he's doing tonight later on in the show. It's good to have you here, buddy, and I appreciate you very much.
It's awesome to be here.
A couple quick thank yous as people are rolling in here. I know that YouTube was being a slacker with notifications. Didn't even send Ed a notification about tonight's show. But thank you so much. Sean Chadwick, $3 super sticker with that thumbs up fist bump pair. Very much appreciate that, Sean, before we even got the show started. Rico Stan as well with $5 super chat. So I got nothing this week. That's what he said. So very much not like Rico. I hope you're okay, buddy. Normally you've got some sort of song lyric or something, some sort of snappy thing. So I hope you're doing well. But I very much appreciate the support there. Thank you for the super chat. Never necessary, but always very much appreciated. And then Carol Cox using her membership super chat, and a member for 17 months. Thank you for that love and support. Being part of the Fish Room Fever family says my best to all. Thank you, Carol, for that. Our best to you as well. For anybody that's not familiar with the show, if you've got a question or comment, feel free to throw it in the chat. If you'll put the @ symbol in front of Fish Room Fever, what that does is highlight on my screen so that it pops up and it sticks out so I don't miss it, because we get a lot of awesome fishy conversation going on in the chat, and sometimes it flies right past there. Don't have anything specific in terms of topic for tonight, just leaving it open for questions and comments. I thought about doing a couple things. The funny thing is, once you've done, a weekly live stream for, a couple years, you've talked about so many things. It's hard to find something new. It's like, well, we could talk about some products. I'm like, well, we've done that a couple times. We could talk about plants. I'm like, we've talked about beginner plants and different temperature plants. And so we'll do those things again in the future, but there's nothing we haven't done in a long time that I felt really needed covered again today. So I guess it's a blessing and a curse that you all have been so supportive for so long. But it's hard to find new and innovative things to bring to you on a regular basis, if you will.
You know what? I have, maybe we could do a challenge.
Ooh.
Maybe we can go back 3 years ago. We watch what we did that week, and we see if we can make it better.
I'm sure we could.
Something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that. We've come a pretty good ways in the past couple of years. So I'm sure that we could improve upon some of the older content. I know I've done that with a couple of videos, so might as well do that with some live streams.
Or maybe we'll make it worse.
Yeah, that's true. You never know. Lilibet Tavares, thank you so much for the $3 super sticker with that cute little fox saying, "How's it going?" It's going pretty well. I'm gonna keep on more of a positive note than last week. But it's going pretty well. Thank you so much for that super sticker. Thank you for the support. Thank you for being here a little bit. Very much appreciate that. I hope you're doing well. And Ed, how are you doing? I know the folks at home wonder about you. They worry since you've had your surgery that everything's going good for you. So what's the update there?
Yep. Let's see. It's the 26th. Oh, jeepers. Will next week be in June?
Yes.
I may not be able to do my stream next week. I don't know, because I'll have one more surgery. Now, this one will only take me out for probably a week, but it's going to be where they take the pacemaker out. That's not right, but they have to unscrew it. It has 3 screws attached to my heart. It's supposed to have 4. One keeps popping loose, so they got to unscrew it, pull that one out, and then they're going to put a little one about this big into my heart somehow. And I was talking to my nurse about it, and she says that it doesn't just float around or it would get squirted out or get stuck somewhere, but somehow they attach it to the inside of your heart. Isn't that weird? And but yeah, but it's super little, and it won't be as big of a pain as this. But still, the problem is I'll still have, it cuts through the muscles that connect to your arm here. So I'll be in a sling for a while. Yeah. And I won't be able to go in my pool for a month.
Really man, I know that's going to be disappointing for you.
Yep. Well, but that's life.
we're glad you're doing well, and I'm glad it's just one more minor thing. Hopefully, they get it right and taken care of, and you're done with all this stuff.
Yep.
It'll be
So
good.
that's awesome.
Fantastic Freaks using his member super chat there. Been a member for 22 months. Appreciate you, Austin. Says, be fantastic and hit the like button, Fish Fam. Hope all is good with you, James, Ed, and the Fish Fam. All is well here. I've been working on tanks a lot more lately. Wow, I just lost what I was going to say. But thank you so much, Fantastic, for being a member, showing that love and support, being part of the Fish Room family. But yeah, I've been spending more time in tanks. I actually did, for anybody that doesn't know, I have a 90-gallon that is what's called a reef ready tank. It's got the built-in overflow and all that. And that is plumbed into a 100-gallon tank. It sits below it. It's one of the old 5-foot tanks, but it's the same front to back as the 90-gallon is. So I've got them on a singular system, and I basically redid that whole thing over the past couple of days. I've got to do one more water top off on it, but I didn't want to completely change out all of the water at once and shock the fish. But that's been the process for the past several days. I completely emptied the top. Well, I took the fish out, completely emptied the top tank, separated it from the 100-gallon below it, scrubbed everything, went through the substrate, completely reset that tank, got it set back up and running, and let the water flow for a while, move the fish from the bottom tank into that tank, repeat process, fill that thing up, let it kind of cure, made sure that I kept plenty of beneficial bacteria alive in that system so that everything would be okay. And then I've got the bottom tanks probably 20 gallons shy of being full. So I'll get it filled up, and I'll do that tomorrow. But I really didn't want to shock the fish. And you can kind of tell when fish are starting to distress a little bit. And so I kept a good close eye on them. And I had one of the piranha that was kind of showing a little bit of distress. And I was like, okay, we're not going to do any more water today. We'll give him a couple days, let him settle, and then finish getting it topped off. Because I'm sure the parameters were starting to get a little off in there.
Now, with that system,
yeah.
Is it going to be for the piranhas?
So I had them divided between the two tanks because I've not got the 220 set up, and with not knowing exactly when we're going to move, I don't know exactly when we're going to set it up. That, and I'm still waiting for my taxes to come back, being audited. So that's always fun. And that's going to be a pricey project, building out that stand and sump system. And then the bracing is the really pricey thing. I still think I'm going to build a bracing system. For anybody that's not familiar, my 220-gallon, the 2 support braces broke. It sat in storage for 6 or 7 years. So got to be re-siliconed. One of the braces had already cracked. The other one finally gave way, I guess, from sitting in storage and temperature fluctuations and all that. So I have to rebuild a bracing system that is substantial enough that I trust the 220-gallon not to pop on me. So that whole project is a bit more of an undertaking than just throwing the tank on a stand and filling it up. I wish it was that simple. But eventually they'll go in there. But right now I had them divided between 2 tanks. Right now they are all in the 90-gallon. And they actually seem to be enjoying that more, oddly enough. It's almost like, African cichlids, you get a certain number in there to spread out the aggression, and they do better. So I'm debating keeping them together. We've only got 10 left at this point. They're so darn aggressive. I've kept in bred red bellies and some other things in the past, but Grebes are just so aggressive. They're the most aggressive shoaling or schooling piranha that you could get. And they have a tendency to attack each other. Even being fat and fed and happy, they still do it. I've had many. I've got one in quarantine right now where they took a big chunk out of the top of him, like right behind his head. I mean, a good about that deep down from the top of his head was gone. But he's healed up now. He started acting weird. We got that injury healed up. and it's doing well. But in the process of healing that up, he spent a lot of his time kind of bracing himself in the corner. So he's got like the chimple and some damage on the top of his head from where he's just kind of been swimming into the corner of the tank. So we're working on getting that healed up. I've got salt in there, and I've got some of the stress guard from CChem. I love that stuff. And in this other quarantine tank, he's doing a little bit better. I've got some decorations and things in there. It's not so much a quarantine tank as your typical bear quarantine. It was actually a tank I had set up that's got some scape in it. And he seems to be a bit more comfortable in there. So he's actually swimming around and not keeping his head pressed against the glass as much now that he's gotten used to it. So
Now,
hopefully he will do well, and I can return him back to the rest of the Piranha.
when it comes time for you to move, how are you going to transport all those guys?
Probably in totes. I'll get the I guess Sterilite brand, doesn't really matter, but I'll get the clip top totes.
Okay.
Because those are a little bit more sturdy, a little bit more secure, especially in terms of the lid, and I'll transport them a couple in a group per tote. I have my homemade Piranha net, which I used over the past couple days to move those guys around. It's basically a $1 plastic not Sterilite, but dollar store brand, whatever, little plastic basket, little organizer basket that you get, something like that, but one of the little bit thicker ones. And then I took a selfie. Look like a goalie mask there. Took a selfie stick and some zip ties and ensured that there were no sharp edges inside of the basket. And I zip tied the selfie stick to that big plastic basket because those guys will just eat right through a net if you try to catch them with a conventional fish net. They just chew through it and fall out.
Well, that's what. Are they more aggressive in the? Well, like when you snap it down, they're going to be in complete darkness. Will they be aggressive in the dark? Like if another fish bumps against them, do they bite, or are they just like, I'm just going to sleep and pretend like nothing eats me?
So just from the experiences I have in the past of moving them back and forth to tanks and moving other piranhas, they don't tend to really get too bitey in transport just because they're so stressed. They're so worried about what's going on, not knowing what's happening, that they don't tend to really attack each other so much. But it is kind of funny to watch them test each other. They've been doing that a lot since I moved them all together. They just both they'll swim past each other and they'll just kind of brush each other as they're swimming past. Like, if you bite me, I'll bite you. Okay, we're not gonna bite each other. All right, I'm moving on. Oh no, that's a good question. So I don't foresee any issues with the aggression while they're being transported. Just so long as I can keep from getting bitten while I'm getting them in and out and back into the new setup.
Yep. At least your scar looks cool.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. One of these days I'll get that, get a piranha tattoo going up here with the mouth to the scar. Who knows? All right. I'm going to jump back into the chat here. I saw we had some highlighted stuff come through. You scroll back up. Hey, Lefty, how's it going? A lot of awesome people, awesome names in here. 100 people hanging out with us. Very much appreciate that. There was Austin saying, be fantastic. Hip Hop Hillbilly, how's it going, my friend? Says that planted 40-gallon breeder with 3 dwarf Brahmies and 3 about to be 5 peacock gudgeon. Going to get 5 rummy nose, then 5 hillstream loaches. I think 1 electric blue Akara could do okay. Thanks in advance. So we've been, it's one of the awesome things I love about this community and this platform, as we get to watch people's tanks and projects kind of grow over the weeks. We've been talking to Hillbilly every week about this 40-gallon breeder he's got. Let's see, do I think 1 electric blue Akara would do okay? I honestly don't know that I would add the electric blue Akara to the mix, in my opinion. That's not to say that you can't do it, and that's not to say that it's wrong to do it. But you've got the 3 dwarf Brahmies. Yeah, it's a 40 breeder. It's got 3 dwarf Brahmies, soon to be 5 peacock gudgeons, 5 rummy nose, and 5 hillstream loaches, and then adding an EVA in there. I really don't.
That big.
Yeah, I really don't think I would add him, honestly, Hip Hop Hillbilly. Just again, my personal opinion, which take it for what it's worth. Which I think I got a penny in here, which is about what it's worth.
If you knew that the guy, he was a docile one, like a real nice one. But
yeah,
I mean, if he's more bitey, it could be bad for some of the fish.
Yeah, and I could definitely potentially see him going after a hillstream lurcher too.
And eating the rummy nose.
Yeah.
I mean, they're fast, but eventually he's going to catch them.
So what I would do if it were me, as I would get set up with all that, but the EVA, minus the electric blue Acara, and just enjoy that tank for about a month and look at it and decide if I really, really need to have that electric blue. And if you do, maybe set something else for him. Or if you find one, like Ed said, that is really docile, that you could get away with.
Or maybe some fantastic, awesome angel.
Yeah. Oh, I heard a kitty.
Yeah, Nico's in here. He just can't decide what he wants to do.
Right.
Yeah, he was like this for like 5 minutes, like staring at the table to jump up here. And then now he's looking out the window.
Oh.
It's raining out there, so he doesn't know if he wants to sit in the window because he might get wet.
Absolutely. But yeah, that's my 2 cents. Hip Hop Hillbilly. So take it for what it's worth, but I'd really put some thought into it before I added the EVA in there personally. Lefty3G138, been a member for 25 months. Woo! Over 2 years. It's hard to believe it's been over 2 years. But thank you so much, Lefty. Awesome guy you are. Says, woo, 25 months, can't stay, have human ick, must sleep. If you are still hanging around, Lefty, I hope that you get to feeling better soon. Appreciate you being a member. I appreciate you being a friend, buddy. I hope you feel well soon.
Human ick would be like, what would it be?
No,
like leprosy.
Oh. We're going to pass on that. MNC Aquatic says, just set up a 40 breeder. What would you and Ed stock one with? I'm probably doing another Pleco tank. I really, really, really enjoy my 40 breeder setup with Plecos. I do have one with Shelly's. The Shelly's I got from Sarah J. Siebers. Shout out to her. Thank you, Sarah. But I love the Plecos in that footprint. As long as you've got, one of the smaller species and you can do a little colony in there, it can be really fun.
I'm actually just cleaned out a 40 breeder and I'm going to be adding my Synodontis to it.
Nice.
I've got a little colony of Synodontis and they're the Synodontis, and I know this is wrong, but I always call them Pepsi-Colas, but it's the Pepsi whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about?
I'm sure we'll see it in the chat there.
They're the ones that spawn in the marble. You put a little cave in there with a little egg crate over a marble bowl, and they'll lay their eggs on full moons. And the eggs will fall into your bowl, and then you take it out and put it in a different tank, and then you can raise up the babies that way. It's pretty cool. Yeah. But all the girls will go in there and they start swimming in circles, and the boys get in there and they start swimming, and all of a sudden the magic happens. It's pretty cool. Only on full moons. And I mean, it's not like they can see the full moon. They just can feel the full moon.
Yeah. So
cool. So they're like one of my favorite catfish. And they're really cool looking because they're, so the black spots are so perfect on them. They got some white niceness on just here and there. Just a sharp looking fish.
They are. They're a beautiful fish. So yeah, that's what we would do. MNC, I'm curious to hear what you end up doing with it. And congrats on the new tank getting set up. I love the 40 breeders. They're such an awesome footprint. Definitely one of my favorite, if not my favorite. Thanks. Fantastic Freaks, our buddy Austin again. $2 super chat. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Says, how funny. Just got a new tank too. A great feeling. A thumbs up. It is a good feeling. Mine is to the point where I've got so many empty tanks that I get that new tank feeling just from sometimes doing a reset on an old tank, just looking at a tank and go, I think I want this to look different. Or I think the fish would appreciate if I did this instead. One of the 7 habits of highly effective fish keepers is being the fish, thinking like the fish and what the fish wants. So sometimes I like to revamp tanks according to that, and I get that new tank feeling, and it is great. It really is. Thanks again, Austin. Sorry, Ed, you had something to say?
I'm also adding 2 angels to that tank.
Nice. Very
They
nice.
just, well, they're in a 75 all by themselves. So I'm going to take my 2 ornate Beischers, Beischers out and put them in the 75 and the 2 angels in that 40. Because they just don't need that much space. But then I'll have another 40. But what I really need is a 55 again. I can't believe it. It's like the tank I hate the most. But I had my mind set up to put my Goodiots in a 55. But I had to do I had my tank all set up for the Goodiots. And I had to do an emergency pull of my Threadfin Akara because they were killing everybody in the 200. So they get to live in that 55 by themselves. And I was going to pull the female, but her breeding tube came down again. So I think she's going to try to have eggs again. So we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Yeah. And nothing against anybody that likes the 55. Ed and I are both kind of in the same boat. There are so many other amazing footprints for tanks.
I hate how narrow they are.
That's really
75s are just so much nicer. I can't really see my hands. But
I mean, it's funny because it's so much less volume, but I think a lot of times you're often better with a 40 breeder than you are a 55, just because of the way the footprint is.
Yeah, but, I want the footprint for the Goodiots in the 55 versus a 40, just because I think there's more
I agree
for a little fish, more space.
Yeah.
But it's kind of weird.
Alrighty, I see. Yeah. Hashtag John says sorry. A couple minutes ago. Thank you all so much. Huge thanks to John and Lisa, KG Tropicals, for the send over. Appreciate that. I'm glad you all are getting things wrapped up with the move, and that you can start really moving into this new phase of your lives. It's so awesome for you, and I'm so happy for you. And I know you'll be glad to be able to get a little bit of downtime and kind of take a breath as you get head on into this transition into your new place. But congrats to you guys, and thank you for the send over.
And
I never need to say sorry.
When they get settled down, we need to do a road trip and visit them and Lucas.
We do. Absolutely. All right.
Oh, you know what? Can I pitch a show?
Yeah, go for it.
Tomorrow night at 10:30, come and see James, me, and Kenny E. That didn't rhyme as well as I thought it was. In my head, it sounds really good. But nevertheless, the Booty Boys are back in action, having fun. Tomorrow's going to be on my stream or on my channel, and then the following week it'll be on this guy's channel.
Yes, sir.
And we're the 3 of us are just going to have fun and just rotate it and have a good time every Friday night at 10:30.
10:30 Eastern. The Booty Boys are back in action.
And I heard through the grapevine that Kenny might be doing another tour.
Ooh,
he
that
was
would
thinking
be fun.
about it. And if he does, I said I would do the driving to go down to Lucas's, and maybe we could go snorkel with Lucas and Kenny E.
That would be so cool. That would be awesome. It's always a fun time with either of those gentlemen, but all of us together, man, what an adventure that could be.
Heck yeah.
Whip's World saying, hiya, boys. James and Ed, and of course, everybody else. Whip, good to see you, brother. I didn't wear the Whip's World this week. I wore it for a couple shows the past couple weeks. I really love that shirt. It's just so comfortable. I did the Extreme today.
Oh, nice.
Shout out to Extreme. Of course, you could find Extreme on keepfishkeeping.com. Little thank you there for the send over, John and Lisa.
Yeah, and I'm wearing a John and Lisa shirt.
Yeah, the bubbles. I love that bubble shirt.
Oh my gosh, my cats do too. I had to use the cat thing because I was like, I think I'll wear this on Thursday, and I threw it on the couch. And when I went and and this was like on Monday when I threw it on the couch, I think baby cat had slept on it every night because it was just covered. But
that's the joy of cats. We both have that problem. So we have to keep a lint roller with us when we travel.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Stero saying Costco has a sale on totes. Good to know. Thank you, Paul. Not getting any right now, but I will definitely need some kind of as we get prepared to move. Victoria Lee, I see you there. I just want to say that you're being awesome in the chat, and I know you've got some super stickers down there, and I will get to those, I promise. But I want to say thanks for being here. So you very active in the chat, and I appreciate that. Chat jumped on me. I'm going to roll back up here. Rolling in and scrolling. So many awesome people. I was about 10 minutes behind, so I should be right in here. There's Crown Tail. I see Crown Tail's question and or comment. Scruffy City is saying, has anyone else heard there's a shortage of Indian almond leaves? I had not heard that. I have a bunch. So
yeah, me too. If you need some, Scruff, let us know.
Yeah.
That's Mitch from Knoxville.
Yep, absolutely. Just let us know, Scruffy. Crouch Half Moon says, James, sir, could I share the link for Mystery Snail Guardians? She's doing a special video premiere on Sunday. Absolutely, Crouch Half Moon. Go right ahead. Mystery Snail Guardian does awesome stuff. So you go ahead and throw that link in there. I appreciate you asking, but 100% good with that. Victoria Lee, $1 super sticker, dropping that big brown pile of fertilizer on the chat to keep the plants growing. Thank you so much for that. And then I saw she did another one as well. The double hooper. Appreciate that. Oh, there it is. There it is. Victoria Lee creates again with $1 brown pile of fertilizer with that little poo emoji. Very much appreciate that support. Thank you for helping to fertilize the stream and keep the plants growing in the background there. And thank you for being here, Victoria. Hip Hop Hillbilly says, yes, you guys have helped me out a lot, and thank you so much. Noted, and we'll think twice about it. Yeah, absolutely. And thank you, Hip Hop Hillbilly. I'm glad that we've been able to help, and I appreciate the fact that you've come here to get our advice. Ed and I never claim to be experts, and we probably never will. We're just a couple of goofy guys that have kept a lot of fish over the years, and share our experiences and what's worked and what hasn't, and our knowledge from that approach. Yeah. Susan for SLC Aquatics saying James and Ed with the hands, hearts, and hellos. Hi, Fish Fan Mom. Hope you're doing well. Always good to see you. Thank you for coming by. There it is. Go ahead, buddy. Go ahead.
Was Mitch in her live stream with her today? That's awesome.
I honestly don't know. Oh, that is cool. I'll have to go check that out.
For sure.
Our buddy Mike's Aquatics and Things. Good old Grumpy Mike from way back in the day. If you know, you know. If you don't, you won't. Been a member for 22 months using his member super chat. Just throw the emojis out there and the hi emoji. Mike, brother, I hope you're doing well. Hello to you, my friend. Always good to see you. Thank you for the love and support.
Mike's the man. You know what?
Look at this guy. I don't see him a whole lot, but I always know he's hanging around. Furloughs Aquatics, been a member for 20 months, using his membership super chat milestone there. Because, geez, it's been over a year. It has. It's crazy how time flies. Furlough, brother, appreciate you. Always good to see you. I know life gets crazy and you're busy a lot, but I appreciate you with the support, and I always hope you're doing well.
He's been working like a madman.
Yeah.
And he has all of his critters on top of it that he has to take care of.
Yep.
And a lovely wife.
Yeah. And he, along with so many of these people, have awesome channels, awesome fish that I really enjoy. This guy, Chad Crot's also pooping on us with that big brown pile of fertilizer there with the $1 super sticker. Thank you, Chad. Always good to see you. Hope you're doing well. All right, we're going to roll and scroll on down through here, looking for questions or comments. I'm reading the paid stuff, if you will, because it's what I've got on my screen, but we'll take any questions or comments you got. Just put the @FisherandFever on there. It'll highlight for us. We'll be happy to help you out if we can. Or just read it live if you've got something you want spoken aloud, live, publicly, in front of 12,000 people right now, or 109. Either way, whichever one. Which world? With his membership super chat, I'm laughing, but it's not funny. I'm sorry, buddy. It says on there, been a member for 8 months, but I know it's really right at 2 years. He says, I suck. This should be 24 months. It really is quite vexing. I've had that happen before where membership lapsed and I didn't realize it, and then I miss a month, and then I had to start over. I just got a message the other day that the only memberships I have were the ones that I had put on my cell phone because I'd changed bank cards, and that's a long story we won't get into. But anyways, I had the option to bill them to my phone bill. So some of them are on my phone bill, just via that was happened to be how it got set up when I clicked it on my phone. And so those are the ones that never went, that never lapsed. And then I got a message about a week ago that will no longer be an option. So I've got to remember to change that, or I'm going to be in the same boat with you, Whip. And so, like you, some of these memberships, KG and Aquarium Co-op, I've had those for over 2 years. Working towards 3. So I don't want those suckers to lapse. I'm sure, it is quite vexing, like you said, but I appreciate the support, buddy. And I know you've been a supporter for longer than 8 months. And we love you. Thank you, Whip. There's Hip Hop Hillbilly again. Says, I got a 55. I got a reseal, but planning Geophagus Tapajos, Basmati Rainbows, and probably a bristle nose or 2. Might do the Akara in there. Well, there you go. There you go.
That would be a good one to do it with.
I think you're much better off to do that than you are to go in that 40 breeder setup with the Grommies and the Rummy Nose and the Hill Streams. Yeah.
I mean, if you buy him as a little baby, you could put him in your tank, in the 40 until he gets, bigger than everybody else, and then pull him.
Definitely. All right. Lots of good conversation going on in there that doesn't involve me in the chat. I love you guys. You're so cool. Thank you all for hanging out with us tonight. We still got a little bit of ways to go here. Victoria Lee creates another $1 super sticker there with another pile of poo. She's making sure that the nitrates are going up. Yes, I love it. She commented that right below. The nitrates are going up. We're going to have to do a water change in here before too long. I love it. Thank you so much. I see Zen saying, did anybody else lose sound? I hope not. I don't see. Okay. Everybody else saying sound is good. No problems. All right. USL Services, appreciate you being here. New name to me. Maybe you're normally a lurker, but I appreciate you. I see you. I like to try and shout out new names whenever I can catch them, and I've got to spare a moment to say thank you for being here. Jail Lovers, Guppies, and Aquatics. An all too familiar face. John Oliver's an awesome guy. Using his membership milestone super chat. Membership milestone super chat to say a great crowd here tonight. It really is. We've got 100 awesome fish folks hanging out in here. Some lurkers, some listeners, some questioners, commentators, and some contributors, as I like to say. But a great mix of awesome fish people all here to have a good time. Maybe learn something new about fish. If not, just hang out and talk fish. Share our experiences and what we've got going on. Chad Krotz, I see their brother dropping that brown pile of poo. More nitrates in the tank. Somebody go get the python. We'll have to do a water change in here. Thank you so much for that, Chad. Always appreciated. Never expected. Thank you so much.
I was doing that yesterday.
So I just caught what Zen was saying there. She said, never mind, my phone connected to the Bluetooth speakers outside. So she was broadcasting us to the neighbors. I love it.
Awesome.
I love it. Just everybody go get in your car, put it on the broadcast it through your speakers, and just drive around and let the whole neighborhood hear about, the fish room fever, the fish fam, and how awesome aquariums could be. Go ahead, buddy.
That could be dangerous, depending on who she's talking to.
That could be. Definitely. Oh my goodness. So Nate says, hey guys, getting back into the hobby after about a year break and just set up my 55 again.
Nice.
I set it up to breed sunset guppies, but wanted to add a bigger centerpiece species. Any fish recommendations? Well, Ed, as you are a much more successful guppy breeder than I am, as can be told by your thousands of guppies, would you like to take that?
Well, I don't keep, I've got probably 60 some tanks of guppies, and the biggest thing I have in any of those tanks is a Coridora. It's I don't really keep anything big with them. I've seen if you have a lot of plants in there, I would probably start your plants off first. Okay. I go slow. I start my plants and I normally wait a month before my first fish goes in. But then I would put in your guppies and let them get established, and then maybe go for a bigger fish. Boy, you could do so many things. It's hard, and I already said angel, and I know people that get bored with angels, but How about a parrotfish? I wonder how a parrotfish would do. I've never had parrotfish with guppies. I mean, they're going to eat the little ones, but I don't know. It depends on how big the tails are on the males, because you don't want something that's going to eat all your slow, pretty males.
So here's the problem, if you will. Excuse the terminology. Is you want to set it up for breeding, but you also want a centerpiece fish, and that's where they kind of conflict with each other. You can do it, but understand that that centerpiece fish in a lot of instances is going to take away from the overall breeding of those guppies. Nate said Programi and Angels ? That was the gentleman that asked the question initially. I see the follow-up there.
How about a crazy awesome pleco?
I think that would be cool. That's probably one of the safer things you could do. You could get a good size pleco. You could get one that goes into, even the 7-inch range to do it in that 55.
Like a blue phantom or a green phantom. Yeah, that would be awesome looking.
I love the blues, but I would go with the greens just because they tend to keep a little bit more color as they grow out from the ones I've seen. And the blues tend to lose more of the color. But in my experience, I have yet to meet an angelfish that will not aggressively hunt down guppy fry with a passion. So, I mean, you could do them together in terms of having a tank of sunset guppies and having angelfish in there. You could house them together, but know that more than likely that angelfish is going to really predate on a lot of those fries. So if you're trying it specifically for the purposes of breeding, it's probably not going to work well. And the same more than likely with that pearl gourami as well. I think Ed hit the nail on the head there in terms of getting a large centerpiece pleco to give you something pretty to look at. That's really not going to give you issues in terms of those fry and chasing them around. But again, like I said, you could do it. You could put those in there. But if the intent is to breed the sunset guppies, which is what it says in there, it's set up to breed sunset guppies. It's going to be hard to find something that's not going to predate on a lot of those babies. Now, if you've got tons of plants and lots of, floating plants and lots of planted area, lots and lots of hiding places, that'll help your numbers come up. But, I mean, the only other thing you could really do is it's going to add more work to you is if every time you see fry, you're in there netting them out and putting them in like hanging breeder boxes until they grow big enough that they don't fit in that angel's mouth or that gourami's mouth. And that's a lot of work. I've done stuff like that when I had lines that were either difficult for me to get started breeding, or I was getting really small drops of maybe like 10 or 12, where I was like, I've got to, save each and every one of these fry and let them grow out so that I can get this line going. And that can be very time consuming and painstaking to try and get in there and constantly be catching fry and moving them to a safe location. So just I'd think on it for a little while and see what your biggest priority mentally is. If you're willing to accept the loss of some of those fry to have the centerpiece fish, then go for it. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're really like, no, my priority is to breed as many of these as I can, I would probably lose the centerpiece.
I've seen people do it also with I've seen like a rainbow shark or a redfin shark. I've seen them in guppy tanks.
Yeah.
They're kind of fun because they'll kind of patrol in one area, and you get to see them. Or you could do a bunch of corridoras and they're really cool and they go up and down and they dance and have fun. And a whole bunch of autocats are neat too.
Yeah.
It sounds goofy, but when you get a mess of them in there, they're kind of fun because they school together.
Yep. Our buddy Kenny E. Danica Aquatics using his member super chat, been a member for 26 months. It says still working on when, but the road trip is coming soon. LOL. Brother, I'm looking forward to it. You take your time, work those details out. Looking forward to hearing all about it. And looking forward to hanging out with you tomorrow with the return of the Booty Boys on that 10:30 Eastern show on the Chattanooga Ed channel this week. Stero says Ed might want to go with the 60 breeder route. Those 60 breeders are nice. They are. If those had been out a couple years ago, readily available, I probably would have a bunch of those versus some of these other tanks. Those are an awesome tank. And one day we get on this new property, we get the fish palace built. 60 breeders will be a big part of that life. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Crown Tail Half Moon says, James, sir, could you recommend a brand of solar-powered air pump that can be used outdoors? I'm thinking of doing summer tubs and don't want to run power extensions or air tubing on the ground. I don't know of... I'm sure there is one. I'm sure there is. I don't know of an air pump that incorporates the solar into the air pump. I'm sure if you looked on Amazon, you could probably find 12 of them. I've used 2 different pumps. I've used the Aquarium Co-op little air pumps, and then this guy. Got to get y'all a video on this. This guy's cool. There we go. Green screen didn't like that. The Aqua multifunction air pump. This thing here, it actually has a built-in battery. It's not solar powered, but it has the built-in battery, and it has a couple different phases on it. Like you can run it. Oh Lord, it's not standby mode. I can't think of the term for it. Let's see. What do we have here? It should tell me intermittently. You can run it intermittently, and it'll last a lot longer because it'll shut on and off, on and off. But either one of those, you would still need to plug into some sort of a solar panel. So that is the only route that I know of in terms of getting away from it. Like you can look on Amazon and probably find something that incorporates it, but I've not tried any of those products.
Can I ask, is the pump, is it to just aerate the water, or is it to actually run a sponge filter? Because you can buy those floating fountains that have and they have to have a lot of light, but they actually work if they're under a lot of light. And what you're going to get is it's going to break the water, and you're going to get actually probably more air getting into your tank or your tubs by having water splashing down.
And Ed's got a video on those. Those are a great way to do surface agitation. So, yeah, absolutely. If that's your sole purpose, I'd probably go with one of those that Ed has used in the past. And in his video, he kind of shows you how to modify it to keep fish from getting sucked up into the pump there and all that good stuff. But if you're looking for something to filter with, run a couple of big sponges in there or whatever, it's not a super simple route in terms of products I've used and am familiar with. Let's take a look here. Victoria Lee said, I love hearing you put the classy spin on that poop send off. Yeah, that big brown pile of fertilizer. Only Oscars with the $20 super chat. Thank you so much, Only Oscars. Really do appreciate that. Never expected, but it is always very much appreciated. Says James, we need a fish room tour of your tanks. Huff. I'm working on it. That's part of what. Okay, to get slightly sad or sentimental here for a moment. That's part of what I'm working on. I'm trying to get my tanks to show quality is not the terminology I'm looking for. But I want to get everything back where it really, really looks nice. Like I used to keep everything like really, really look nice. Now a lot of them are utilitarian. It's like, well, that works. It functions. It's fine. But it's not necessarily something pretty for video. I'm trying to do that. And I've got like this. I owe them a video because they sent me the green screen is really not liking that. Or it's loving it, I guess, because it keeps eating it up. They sent me that. I've got this light, which I need to do a video on. And both of these were sent to me for free, full disclosure. But this light, I need to do a video on this. I need to do a video on the tanks. And all that is kind of wrapping up to my friend that's been in the hospital, my mom's roommate. He's been more of a brother than anything for the past 17 years. He is the one that he's a computer tech guy. He's a repair guy. The laptop I'm on now, he picked it out. He found it. He loaned me the money, which at this point I hadn't fully repaid that debt. So it pretty much this laptop was gifted to me by him. And so one of the things I've kind of committed to in his honor and his memory is to really put this thing to use, because he found it, and he helped me out because he really believed in what I was doing. He wanted me to have something that had the highest possible editing power available. So he's like, hey, let me buy you this $1,500 laptop and you can just give me some money, as you get it whenever. So kind of in his honor and his memory, I'm kicking myself in the butt to get back on track with doing the videos, doing the tours, things like that. So that is coming. That's the long story short. That's why I like that 190-gallon completely resetting it. Those 2 tanks in that system is part of it, because I want to honor him and thank him for his support and love over the years, and believing in me. And I owe that to you guys as well. So the stuff is coming. This has kind of been a kick in the butt to get me out of my slump, if you will. But the stuff is coming, and only Oscars, I appreciate you. And we'll get you some stuff soon, my friend.
I had to move something because Baby Cat really wanted to sit up with Nico, but he was sitting next to a pillow, so she couldn't get there. Sorry.
Gotcha. Oh, you're fine.
Oh, and now both cats jumped off the chair.
They'll do that. Furloughs Aquatics with that $1 super sticker with that big brown pile of fertilizer, raising those nitrates up, baby, keeping the plants growing in the stream. Thank you so much, Eric. Furloughs Aquatics, my friend. Killer Kitty 08, always great to see you. You changed your avatar there, I believe. The $3 super sticker with that cute little fox saying my hero. That must be Ed. You've got to be Killer Kitty's hero. But seriously, Killer Kitty, thank you so very much. Appreciate you. Liquid Zoo, OnlyFins, using his member milestone, a super chat there. Says, Ed now has memberships too. Yes, Ed does. He has memberships now. Y'all finally pushed him. He finally did it. But thank you for your support, Liquid Zoo, not only as a member, but also as a moderator, as quite a few of you are. I really do appreciate all the work you all put in. I kind of burn through here because I'm now 16 minutes behind instead of 10 minutes behind, and we only have about 10 so minutes left. Jed Krotz dropping that big brown pile of fertilizer on there as well. It's a poo show tonight. It is. The nitrates are through the roof. Somebody go grab my Python. We got to get this cleaned up in here. Really do appreciate you all. It means a lot. And it goes right back into the channel. It goes to covering things like the streaming cost and the website fees and all that wonderful stuff. So it goes right back into it. And we appreciate you. Look at her there. Victoria Lee Creates. Once again, I don't know. That's quite a few. What is that? 5, 6, 7, 32. She's done 32 piles of poo.
Holy crap.
Dropping another brown pile of fertilizer. Thank you, Victoria Lee Creates. Where are my test strips? I've got to check the nitrates. We're gonna have to bring them down slowly, though, in case you didn't know. A lot of people don't realize that you can actually harm your fish just as much by quickly bringing down bad parameters as you can by having them in bad parameters. So we're gonna do a couple small water changes over the course of this week, leading up to next week. We'll get those nitrate levels back down for the next go around, and we'll work it from there. Our buddy Bird Garden, good to see you, Rack. I saw you pop in here with the hashtag John Says Sorry earlier. Bird Garden doing a $5 super chat. Says, I would like to say that I am a beginner ukulele player and my fish don't mind. That's awesome, brother. That is. Rack is go ahead.
If he is a beginner, I need to start right away because he is an amazing ukulele player. He was telling me there's a banjo ukulele you can get.
Huh.
And it might be a good start to for some reason I want to try a banjo. I'm not a big country singer type guy, but I enjoy the banjo a lot. I think it might be because I really like Steve Martin.
Absolutely. Rack, thank you, brother. I appreciate it. It's always good to see you in here. Rack is one of those people that I don't think there's anything Rack can't do if he puts his mind to it. So I don't think I could be a successful beginner ukulele player like he is. I think his beginner level would be closer to my end level after years of practice. But that's awesome, and I'm glad the fish are enjoying it. And I'm sure the Sitting out there at the pond playing the ukulele. Got to be fun.
I bet Rack would be a terrible drag queen.
Yeah, there you go. You probably found something Rack's not great at. Congratulations. Killer Kitty 08 says, does everyone end up with a mixed mash fish tank? I have so many random fish together from other tanks, other people, and other reasons. LOL. Yes. Oh, I don't know that everybody does, but I know I'm certainly guilty of doing it. Especially when you start moving tanks around, you get, maybe you go buy a setup and it's got some fish that come with it, things like that. I'm definitely guilty of having the mix-up tank of like, I wouldn't have necessarily bought all of these fish to go together, but everything's working well and it's an interesting community tank. So yeah, definitely. Oh, there's the kitty.
He's meowing at something outside.
All right. But yeah, Killer Kitty, I definitely am guilty of doing the same thing. What about you, Ed?
Not so much. I have one tank that has 3 different species in it. My 125 has mollies, swordtails, and shrimp, and cory cats. That's probably my biggest mix-up that I have. I don't really do a lot of mix-ups. I did my whole life when I was growing up. I always had lots of stuff, and for some reason, maybe it's because I have so many tanks that I can just species only it. Or actually, it's not even just species. It's strains only.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like every time I mix something, bad things happen. Like, I had no idea that American flagfish were fin nippers. And I thought, I'll throw in this real pretty betta fish for, to add a big splash of color with my colony of flagfish.
Right.
And I felt so horrible because the next day, that betta was laying on the bottom of the tank alive with no fins. They ripped all of his fins off. He was just a body and a head. And I was so depressed and upset. I had no idea. Just how it goes.
It happens. It happens to all of us. I was right in here. Right in here. There it was. All right. Chat jumped on me. I had to find that sweet spot again. Paul says 100 people watching, 72 thumbs ups. Thank you all so much for that love and support. Appreciate each and every one of you being here. Smashing that like button if you enjoy it. Who knows? Maybe hit the subscribe. Maybe don't. We just appreciate you being here. All right. I see lots of good chat going on. I'm grabbing the highlighted stuff. Very Best says, imagine an imaginary menagerie, a manager managing an imaginary menagerie. I just want to hear you say a tongue twister. See, did I get that right? Imagine an imaginary menagerie, manager managing an imaginary menagerie.
Sounds pretty good to me.
I think I got it. How much wood would woodchuck chuck for woodchuck could chuck wood? I messed that one up, but you'll get to hear the auctioneer voice when we go over to Chattanooga Ed and I say the hellos there.
I once knew a man from Nantucket. Never mind. I just know it's supposed to be some dirty rhyme, but I'm not for sure what it is.
Yeah. Paul Stero says, putting parrotfish in with guppies will end up with a lonely parrotfish. You're absolutely right, Paul. It most definitely will.
Yeah, I've never had a parrotfish. I just know that their mouths are kind of messed up. They're kind of like
absolutely. This. Yeah. I feel like I've had one once years ago as a fish that, not a rescue. I don't like to use that term a lot, but a fish that came to me that needed a home. But I don't think I've ever actually gone and purchased one. Nothing wrong with them. I just always have prioritized tank space to other things.
I was going to buy like 20 of them once for my 200, and they were all multicolored, and it turned out they were all painted. So I decided not to. Absolutely. I thought that they actually came like in bright green, purple, and all those neat colors. And I mean, I don't have anything against like glowfish, but I don't want to paint a fish.
Definitely. Victoria Lee creates. I think you're the number one chatter tonight here. You're cracking me up. Victoria Lee says, smash the thumbs up button and tip some nitrates with the poo emoji there. I just really want to see the Python. I'm only here for the Python. I heard it's epic. That's why they call me the Python in the fish fam. And to see Fish Mafia from the Python. It's epic.
He's the poop sucker.
So I don't normally throw this out there. Typically, you'll see a link from the mods. But Victoria, I want to say specifically to you, if you're going to throw any more poo, which you did after that, maybe consider being a member. Even if you just do it for a month. That way you get a little something back. You can go check out some of the members-only videos and things. That way I can give you back something. Because I know that you're slinging the brown piles of fertilizer left and right, and I'd love to be able to give a little something to you. So maybe check out that little $2 membership. Even if you just do it for a month and cancel it, at least you got something more out of it. And you can use those emojis in the chat. It's just something to consider. We always appreciate all the love and support. But when somebody's throwing it out there over and over again, and there's something I can suggest to give some sort of value, because that's the whole reason I'm here, is to try and bring value through either education, entertainment, hopefully a little bit of both, right?
I think she just really likes poop.
She does. She does. Victoria Lee creates with another brown pile of fertilizer. Oh my goodness. It's almost time for the epic Python on Fish Room Fever After Dark, as Listen Ginger would say.
I was going to suggest to you a members only stream.
Let's when you're available.
But I say we go to that zoo that we got the free tickets for.
Yeah.
At Aquaticon.
Yes, from Aquaticon. That would be awesome.
I was going to mention that to you earlier today, was if you'd want to do a members only show from that.
Yes. Zoo. So yes. I have to look, because the previous times I've tried to do a mobile members only stream, I was not able to select members only from my phone. So maybe we just do a stream anyways, and it's a members only chat. I did that once, but people got mad at me a little bit. We'll do something. But no, I'm definitely. I thought about pulling the camera out and just doing a members only stream while I was resetting the tanks and hanging out with people. But then I had to move my computer, and with the little one running around, it just wasn't. I didn't want to put this computer on a footstool by a fish tank while I've got a python running into one tank and a hose filling up the other tank and a little one running around. I was like, that's probably not smart. But yeah, definitely, I want to incorporate some more stuff, and I'm trying to live up to those standards and expectations that were set to be by friends and family and all you awesome people.
I think we should do it sooner than later too, because we don't want to do the summer rush of kids.
Yeah, definitely.
We should ask them when their slowest day is and do it that day.
All right, I've got 2 minutes to run through 20 minutes of chat. Let's see if I can do it here. Chad Krotz, thank you so much for that big brown pile of fertilizer, keeping the nitrates flowing into the tank, helping the plants grow, and keeping everything well established. Appreciate you. Carol Cox as well with that $1 a pile of poo. Thank you so much, Carol. Appreciate you very, very much, as I'm sure, and I hope that you know. Well, on down through here, highlighted questions and comments. Carol Cox said, UC Aquarium Co-op USB pump and a solar cell phone charger. Yes, you definitely can do that. And I love the co-op USB pumps. I really, really do. They don't always push the volume that I would like them to push. And the battery is not built in, which is one of the reasons why I love these aqua pumps. This thing is rated up to 160 gallon tank, and it'll push it. It's a dual outlet. I love that thing. The video's coming on that. I've got to get some footage of it actually in use. Otherwise, it's just me talking, and nobody wants that. But yeah, either one of those would work well. Paul Stero says, apparently the price of 60 breeders have come down some in Petco. Ed may want to check with his LFS to see if they can find one. Great information. As always, Paul, dropping the knowledge, being helpful. Appreciate that. One of these days, I will have that 60 breeder. Let's see. A car.
I have a table for it. Sorry.
Yeah, there you go. Absolutely. No, you're fine. I lost it, but I think it was Arcus, not Acaras. I just automatically, my mind went Acaras. I was asking about a property update. I basically just need to go out and essentially pick the portion of land with everything happening with our buddy being in the hospital, and then that friend of the family has had to go away and has had some medical issues as well. We just haven't finalized everything, but it's a sooner rather than later thing. There are some other things coming to pass that I won't get into right now that are going to kind of speed the process up. Buddy Viper, thank you so very much. Thank you. I appreciate you. Only Oscars with another $10 super chat says Christopher says, hey Christopher.
Hey.
Hi you guys.
Hi, Christopher.
Really not necessary, only Oscars, but thank you so very, very much for that. And hello to Christopher. Christopher, thank you for saying hi to us too.
Christopher, I think you're the coolest guy anywhere around.
Absolutely.
Oscar fish.
There you go. Rebecca Jackson says, hey, it's been a minute. It has, Rebecca. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Hope everything is okay on your end. And thank you for being here. Pegasus Rena says, super late, but hi. Sorry for not being here sooner. I'll try to catch the replay later. Rena, you do what you got to do. I hope everything is going well with the little one there and all the kids. And it's always good to see you. Silver Creek Aquarius says, hashtag show the python. That's on Fish Room Fever After Dark. That's on my OnlyFans account, as Matt would say. Sorry, Matt. Had to steal that from you for a minute there. Scruffy City says, how much is too much at one time? I don't know that I have ever heard that. Enough is never enough, and you can never have enough tanks, but you probably already have too many.
You know,
scrolling and scrolling.
I've been stopping on the seconds on food, and it's been helping a lot.
There you go. That's awesome.
But I'm only hungry.
I always think about you when I'm watching the food shows.
I love those.
I love them too. I'm always thinking about you and I going out. I'm like, Ed and I should be doing our when we go out and eat places, because we're as entertaining as this guy is.
Oh, I know. I mean, and we we challenge them to make something that will not make us, or that we can't eat. You know, it's fun.
Rebecca Jackson says, it's been so long. You've grown a beard and Ed went black. Yeah. I don't know. It may stay for a little while. I'm still debating. You never know. We change it up. Try and keep it fresh.
And I wish it was. It's a lot more gray in real life. It looks darker on here than it is in real life.
Victoria Lee creates with her 4,175th super chat, dropping another pile of poo, that big brown pile of fertilizer, right into the tank there. Nitrates are through the roof. I don't think I've got enough of the proper beneficial bacteria to transition that over. I mean, it's just amazing. Thank you so much. Very much appreciate it. Daniel Velez, how's it going, my friend? Says, be right back. If I'm not back before the end of the stream, thanks for the stream, Fish Room Fever, and Ed. My condolences to you and your mother. Bless you both. Very much appreciated, Daniel. That means a lot. Thank you.
See how it still looks dark, but it's still not as dark in real life. Oh, well.
Jazz says, hi, I would like to combine my fish from my 10-gallon and 30-gallon into a 37-gallon. The fish are 3 female bettas, honey gouramis, pygmy corridoras, autos, ember tetras. Is it a good idea or no?
I think I'd do it.
I think so. I'm curious to know which fish are in which tanks currently. I'd like to know who's already getting along and move from there. I'm just going to throw a guess out there and say the 3 female bettas are in the 10 and the rest of them are in the 30. But do me a favor, Jazz. We're about to head over to the Chattanooga Ed channel for Crafted with myself and Ed and maybe Rico Stan.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Bring that over there. Let us know what's in what tank, and we'll be happy to further follow that up. Victoria Lee creates, bless your heart. Thank you for becoming a member. Again, it's not something I generally push, but with you, you're just being so awesome. I want you to get something back from it. So that gives you a bunch of behind the scenes stuff you could go check out. And what we're going to say is that's a double pile of brown fertilizer there that she's dropped on the channel by becoming a member and becoming part of the Fish Room Fever family on Team Bristlenose there. Appreciate you. All right. I have made it to the bottom. Paul, I see you there. If you're at the Clash, that would be pretty awesome. I probably won't be there, but who knows. 5 minutes over my scheduled time here. Ed's got his little sword. He's going to stab me in the eye with it if I don't end this stream soon. Ed, what are we doing on?
Nico's trying to get the wire, but I can't get it out for him. And I don't have a screwdriver here.
I don't even think.
What are we doing tonight?
You want to tell him, or you just want to send him on over?
Just send them all over.
All right.
Look, Nico, this is how much Nico wants it.
There's the kitty. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, look at that. Last but definitely not least, Victoria Lee creates with that final pile of brown fertilizer. Pooing it up. Thank you so much, Victoria Lee. Very much appreciate you. You're awesome. I don't even know how many you did, but you're awesome, and I appreciate it. Each and every one of you all, from the dollar piles of fertilizer to the $20 only Oscars super chats. It all means a lot. I love you guys. Huge thank you to Chattanooga Ed for being here tonight. We're going to go over to Crafted. Link is in the chat right now. Huge thank you to all of the moderators, members, lurkers, listeners, super chatters, contributors, questioners, commentators, and of course, the replay crew. Until next time, keep your fish healthy. Keep yourselves healthy. Don't be afraid to catch yourself a little fish room fever.